YouTube pipe smokers. PlanxtyPipes here. And tonight I am smoking a little Country Gent. This is a bulk house blend by B&B Tobacconists in Asheville, North Carolina. Smoking it in a Peterson Donegal Rocky number 6 billiard, rusticated. This is an older one with a silver band. So P-lip, smokes good. It tends to smoke a little wet sometimes, but pretty good overall. This I thought I'd do a little mini review of this blend, since I doubt that there's any reviews out there on YouTube for Country Gent. Last time I was at B&B Tobacconist in Asheville, I was there because I wanted to buy some Beck's Old Limey Bastard, which is one of their well-known blends. That is, I think it's basically a 965 kind of replacement, kind of Scottish blend, a typical Latakia with Cavendish. And they were out of the blend, so the guy behind the counter said, well, I'll go back in the back and mix you some up. And he went back there for about 2 minutes, came back and said, I'm out of one of the components that I need for Beck's Old Limey Bastard, so unfortunately I don't have it. He said, but if you want an English blend, there's one that I made that I've been smoking, I think he said since the 80s. He said it's called Country Gent. I said, well, you know, I'm willing to give it a try. I actually was really excited to go there because I wanted the Beck's Old Limey Bastard, but can't win them all. So he gave me some of this Country Gent, and I thought I'd, like I said, do a little mini review. It's primarily Virginias and Latakia. It's pretty dry in the bag, but it's a good smoking moisture. So it's not, doesn't need any drying time. And it's not crispy dry, so it doesn't just burn up crazy fast. It smokes good, fairly slow, pretty cool. Yeah, I'd say that's one of the blend's really highlights for me, is just how well it smokes. It's not a big flavor bomb like a lot of Latakia blends. They call it in English. It's not, it doesn't have a lot going on. It's pretty straightforward. Straight tobacco flavor. No no casings or anything that I can detect. It's very Virginia forward. If you like Virginias and English blends, this one is a very Virginia forward English blend. And in the bag, it's got very little smell. It's just not a real strong smell. Maybe a little hints of like cocoa, but that's natural tobacco cocoa, not like a cased topping. And maybe a little bit of smokiness from the Latakia, but not a whole lot. And it's not super pungent. Like I said, it's very mild. It's a good all-day blend. The information that I could find said that it's a mix of 3 Virginias and Latakia. When I was talking to the guy that made it, he said that there was at least yellow Virginia, I know that he said was in it. I think there's some kind of red Virginia because that tends to, my chemistry reacts a little bit with red Virginia, not in a really bad way, but it just, I can tell when I'm smoking red Virginia, there's some kind of like extra heat in my mouth or something. Like, I suspect that there is maybe a little bit of Perique, but if so, very little. I just get a little bit of that peppery kind of spice in the retrohale. Oh, joined by a little bug out in my garage today. A little cream fly. The garage door's open and it's been raining, so they tend to come inside when that happens. I also suspect that there might be a little bit of some kind of Turkish Oriental. It's not very Oriental forward, but it dries my mouth a little bit in a way that some Oriental tobaccos do. So, anyway, like I said, it smokes really well. It's cool. Good all-day blend. Not your typical English blend. I would say it's more of like an American English. Virginia forward. Tasty, but mild. I don't think I could really compare it to any other widespread English blends that I've tried. It doesn't taste like a Dunhill type of blend or a Peace type of blend or anything like that. It's very much its own thing. But it's a nice change of pace. It's maybe if you were an ex-cigarette smoker or something like that, you'd really like it because it doesn't taste like exactly like a cigarette, but there's something about it that reminds me of that kind of dry smoke that you get from like a cigarette. I'd say nicotine's maybe medium. Not a lot of it. It's not like an overpoweringly high nicotine blend, but it's there. Yeah, so I don't know if I really want to give it a rating or anything. I'd recommend it if you like Virginia and you like Latakia. It's worth trying. It's not too expensive because it's a bulk house blend. Like I said, you won't find it anywhere else. So if you want to try something unique, give it a whirl. I feel like as I'm smoking it, I'm getting more Orientals. So I think they definitely have to be in there in some respect. Yeah, it definitely doesn't just taste like a straight Virginia with Latakia to me. There's something else in there, I think. And I know the guy that blended it, he was telling me a little bit about it. And I was there with a friend, and we were talking, and he was kind of talking, and he didn't tell me exactly what was in it, but I remember him saying there were several components in it. It wasn't just like 3 Virginias and a lot of Kia. There's something else, I think. So that's my mini review of Country Gent. Well, as I've stated in the past, I'm quite a fan of Irish music, traditional and folk. And being that I am a musician, guitar player, I've thought several times that I'd like to learn how to play some traditional Irish music. So there's been lots of different kind of forays that I've taken into it as far as researching different instruments. Several years back, when I first started getting into Irish music, I thought, oh, I'll learn how to play the tin whistle. That'll be fun because it's pretty ubiquitous in Irish music and they're super cheap. You can get one for 10, 15 bucks. Cheaper, but most of the traditional decent ones are about 10 bucks, I think, 10, 15. So maybe 7, 8 years ago, I ordered a tin whistle from Amazon, and here it is, the Clark tin whistle. It literally is a tube of tin with a wooden block on it and 6 finger holes. And I've made attempts in the past to try to learn how to play this and usually lasted about a day and ended up sounding horribly. And lived in an apartment at the time and couldn't even play it because it's not really loud, but the sound is kind of high and carries. So I didn't really ever give it any real effort. And I would go through phases where I would listen to Irish music a lot and think, oh, I want to learn how to play tin whistle, and then I kind of lose my interest and I'd stop listening to Irish music and start listening to other rock and roll stuff that I was into at the time, and just kind of was more of a passing thing. So, and shortly after that, I started trying to learn how to play it a little bit, and I was having some problems with the tuning, and it required a lot of air, and I was reading some message boards online about tin whistle. There are message boards for everything, and yes, there are actually traditional Irish music message boards, and there's a fairly large one called Chiff and Fipple, which that's CHIFF and FIPPLE. Those are parts of a tin whistle. Chiff is the sound that it makes. If a tin whistle has a lot of chiff, it's like this airy kind of chirp. Fipple's part of the tin whistle. So, in fact, and I might be wrong about this because I haven't looked it up recently, but I think the fipple is this wood block on a traditional roll tin whistle. So, I was having some problems with the Clark and thought, well, there's lots of other tin whistles. Maybe I should try like one of the ones that has a plastic mouthpiece because they're supposedly a little more easy to play. And I bought this Generation tin whistle. This is one that's tweaked by a guy named Jerry Freeman. He takes these tin whistles are very cheap, and a lot of times they're keyed. So this one is in the key of D. It's a D whistle, and they make them in all different keys. But this D whistle, sometimes these Generations, because they're so cheaply made, they don't really stay in tune that well, and they don't play that well and that kind of stuff. So there's a guy that takes them and tweaks them. He does some stuff to the mouthpiece to like get them playing in tune and that kind of stuff and make them easier to play. So I bought a Jerry Freeman tweaked Generation tin whistle not long after the Clark, and it was easier to play, and I liked the sound a little better. So, but I never really, I kept like picking it up for a day and putting it down. So all this is to say that recently I've decided I'm going to give it a go again. So hopefully this time it will stick. I've been playing it for about 3 days now, which I think is about longer than I ever lasted before. And I've started to pick up a few tunes and start to be able to play them a little bit, play some ornamentation. I won't bore you or subject you to listening to my playing yet, but hopefully before too long I'll be proficient enough at a few tunes that I can play some, and you can hear how that's coming along. So as I said, my name PlanxtyPipes it's derived from Irish music that I like, so I'm going to give it a go and try to pick some up. Anyway, don't know if you guys are interested in that, but I just thought it was something I had laying around right here. I thought I'd talk about it for a minute. Anyway, I hope you all had a good day. I'm going to finish smoking this Country Gent. Apparently it's requiring much more of my attention than it usually does, and I'm running my mouth quite a bit. So I'll sign off now. Have a good night, and talk to you soon.